Mrs. Elhmers, 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank the panel for being here today. Mr. Slavitt, I would like to go back to some of the issues with premium increases that are projected for 2017. There's been some discussion here today about the projected cost increases for 2017 when it comes to the premiums. And I'd just like to shed some clarity on it, and I know that you feel as strongly as we in Congress do about transparency and making sure that information to consumers is readily available. In North Carolina, one of the top insurers has projected that there may need to be about a little less than 20% increase in their premiums. And I've heard from some of my colleagues here substantially larger increases in premiums. And I really do believe that this is something that, even though we in Congress understand it because we have the ability to go to the to get that information, and our staffs are able to do that, the average person, the average American really doesn't. So I would like to understand what that process is. For instance, in the discussion about the Oklahoma increases, you had basically said that you weren't sure that that had been determined yet. At what point will Oklahoma's premium increases be determined, and how will the rest of America know each state's premium increases?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Congresswoman. So right now, and each state is on a slightly different schedule. States are going through a rate review process, and each state does it a little bit differently, which is why it's hard to generalize. And they're in the process of reviewing the rates, and then they'll finalize and approve them. Most of the states, I can't think of one that doesn't, but most of the states make those that information public immediately within their states as that happens, and then they get reported in a number of studies. So I think they've been quite visible. But I can get back to you if you have any specific questions about states.
Well, I'm concerned. And I'm wondering if CMS, if you actually at some point post this information, so that it's readily available. And as far as a date, I know that you said that the process is being played out right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said November 1st is the beginning of the enrollment period for the Affordable Care Act. So will these numbers be known by November 1st?
Yeah, consumers will have access to these information beforehand. What we typically do is we open the website up early so that even before November 1st, consumers can get a sense of what things cost. And as a result, the general public also has access to that information.
Okay, so just for clarification purposes, any American who is ready to sign up or start looking at insurance for next year, they can know that CMS is going to have that information by November 1st.
Yeah, that's what we've done historically.
In the past.
Yes.
Okay, and I just, for the purposes of making sure this information is readily available, I have dropped a bill 5960, which is basically the Consumer Health Insurance Transparency Act, to make sure that we are making that message known to CMS that we would love for that information to be out there for consumers by November 1st. And I would like to see that happen, and I hope that we will be able to do that again for those same purposes that you believe in, which is consumer transparency. In the remaining time that I have, I would like to ask, for the insurance companies that have come forward, who have, 3 major insurance companies have said that they are backing out of the Affordable Care Plan or limiting the number, the most recent being Humana, and others who have discussed the possibility of this. What do you say to that? I mean, if this is working within a manner where only minor tweaks need to be made, which, my colleagues, my Democrat colleagues continue to say that, we just need to make it better. This really doesn't seem like it's getting better. So what do you say to that?
Yeah. No, I think one thing we all have to recognize is that it's not only change for us, it's not only change for consumers, it's change for these insurance companies as well. The business model is different. The way that they historically operated, where they would essentially be able to assess people's health before they would write policies, has gone away. And so, insurance companies are adjusting, and I think they're all, it's hard to generalize, all are adjusting differently. Many, many companies are doing that well and doing it successfully. Many, if it's been public, as you pointed out, Congresswoman, have retrenched. Even those that have retrenched a little bit are still committing hundreds of millions of dollars of capital to do so. But they're doing it at different paces. And I think that's just an acknowledgement of the kind of transformation that I think everyone has to go through.
Thank you so much, and I yield back.
Chair, thanks, gentlemen.